This is the true story of North Koreans slipping into your workplace, applying for jobs at major Western companies, maybe even yours, stealing your job while building your websites and apps, all illegally by the way. But behind every line of code, they are probing your systems, siphoning your intellectual property, and funneling paychecks straight into Kim Jong-un's nuclear missile programs. Programs he's threatened to unleash against you. You've heard of North Korea as perhaps the world's most caricaturish, isolated nation, shrouded in utter secrecy and lights out, with North Koreans starving, brainwashed, and having to praise their supreme leader. But do you know that your co-worker might just be a North Korean, even at your Fortune 500 tech company? Yep, sounds ludicrous, right? But like they say, reality is stranger than fiction. It's May 2023. The security lead at an insurance firm is sipping on their morning coffee somewhere in California when an alert pops up. Login from Seychelles. They pause, alarmed. There is no one they know of who would be trying to log in to company systems from Seychelles in Africa, a tiny island. And that laptop was in fact issued to a remote American employee named Daniel in Arizona. The security lead blocks the connection swiftly, turns on the camera feed, and captures the person sitting in front of the laptop. That doesn't look like Daniel. Something seems wrong. Maybe it's one of the family members, but where did Seychelles come from? And so the investigation begins, and the story is as wild as it can get. This insurance firm was not the only American company dealing with suspicious remote workers at the time. Several similar complaints had poured in, and the FBI had started investigating. Among such cases was also a restaurant chain which had complained of a remote employee exfiltrating large amounts of data from the company. The employee had joined very recently, only to go on a bereavement leave claiming death of his father, and then one day logged into his computer to exfiltrate huge amounts of data. And what was common among all these complaints was that many of the remote employee addresses of various organizations pointed to a common address: Litchfield Park in Arizona. This was the home of Christina Marie Chapman, the woman whose photo the insurance firm had captured. And inside the home, agents found not one or two or three, but dozens of laptops that looked company issued. A laptop farm. There was no Daniel or some other employee the FBI was investigating. On those company-issued laptops, agents found AnyDesk installed, a remote control software. All of these devices from different companies were hosted at Chapman's Arizona home, so logins appear to originate in the US. Agents found that Chapman had shipped several other non-company laptops overseas. Digging into her digital footprints, investigators discovered Chapman's name and address registered with two background check services, one in Maryland and the other in California. Over 80 queries were run against 57 real US identities, and the social security numbers and criminal history reports were generated. And buried in the logs was the name Daniel, the phantom employee whose name matched one of the stolen profiles, and several other employee names on the list. These very real American people had been impersonated as remote employees. It was finally the money trail that gave the clue as to where it was all headed and coming from. Chapman collected paychecks meant for the phantom IT workers, forged each beneficiary's signature, and deposited them into her own bank account, from where she wired millions to a network of foreign accounts. Among Chapman's co-conspirators was one individual named Jiho Han, who had a New York-linked money service transmitter account, or MST account, basically a currency or cross-border transfer intermediaries for money. Han's New York account would then send the payroll money to an address somewhere in China. Then there were more accounts belonging to two other individuals named Hao Ran Chu and Chun Ji Jin, all registered with US money service transmitters using Chinese IDs and their addresses, leading to a border town of Dandong, China. The address of Dandong is important and crucial to the story. It is a city right on the Chinese border, directly across the Yalu River from North Korea, making it a major gateway for goods, people, and covert financial transfers in and out of North Korea. Zhu's name and address were also used by Chapman and other co-conspirators to receive packages in China, including packages containing laptops for remote work at US companies. companies. And there was also another conspirator, a handler known only as Zhonghua, who coordinated the laptop farms and payments. In 2024, feds also arrested a Ukrainian national from Poland for facilitating the scheme by creating fake US job profiles and money service accounts, then routing foreign workers through laptop farms from San Diego to Tennessee. Another layer in the global web of illicit remote labor. Chapman was only one of the American cogs in the wheel of North Korean IT worker scams. There were many such people and laptop farms in the United States facilitating the same. To give you an example of how these facilitators helped out their conspirators, look at this conversation over here between Chapman and her North Korean conspirators, which happened in real time, by the way. We are going to have laptop setup meeting in 20 minutes. Can you join Teams meeting and follow what IT guys say? Because it will require to restart laptop multiple times. Who do I say I am? You don't have to say. I will be joining there too. It's going to have my name on it, right? You just mute and listen, then follow what she instructs. She may ask you to restart laptop. I just typed in the name Daniel. If they ask why you are using two devices, just say the microphone on your laptop doesn't work right. Okay. Most IT people are fine with that explanation. Now you might be wondering exactly how did North Koreans nail those job interviews in the first place? The answer is artificial intelligence. North Korean conspirators feed interview questions into chatbots to generate fluent on-the-spot answers and used deep-fake videos of stolen identities that lip-synced perfectly to make it look like a real person was in front of you. The LinkedIn profiles and headshots were also AI created. In this instance that was shared on LinkedIn by a user, the video shows the interviewer asking the remote interviewee to raise their hand in front of their face in order to spot any video glitches. And this interviewee just shuts off the whole interview process, revealing that they were indeed using a deepfake video. Other researchers have spotted suspected IT workers ending job interviews when asked a variation of the question, "How fat is Kim Jong-un?" The FBI investigation between 2020 and 2023 found that more than 300 American companies were ensnared in this scheme, spanning multiple Fortune 500 giants, including an American aerospace and defense manufacturer, where a scammer even tasked Chapman with picking up an employee badge in person. On 3 separate occasions, overseas IT workers tried and failed to breach 2 US government agencies as well. Seized devices showed North Korean IT workers were applying for roles like video streaming engineers and Python developers, all while hiding behind forged IDs and AI-generated personas. But how exactly did these North Koreans get any technical education and skills in the first place in a country that doesn't even have internet connection for its common people? Many of the IT workers are thought to have been selected as bright children at elementary school, trained in North Korea's elite institutions like Kyongsung 1 and 2 high school, middle schools, universities such as Kim Il-sung University or Pyongyang University of Science and Technology. After graduation, these students are usually sent abroad, especially to China and Russia, for intensive hands-on training, learning real-world software development, remote work tools, and hacking techniques they couldn't practice under North Korea's strictly censored domestic intranet. These graduates, now highly skilled researchers, then plug into shadow ecosystem, working for foreign firms remotely, hiding behind VPNs and stolen identities, and routing pay through middlemen in China such as in Dandong, and ultimately funneling the money back into North Korea's weapons programs. There are North Korean front companies running these schemes, showing how organized the crime is. In May 2023, the US sanctioned a North Korean company named Chin Yong Information Technology Corporation Company for employing IT workers in Laos and Russia. North Korea's cybercrime extends far beyond just these remote work scams. Groups like the Lazarus groups have carried out crypto heists totaling $1.34 billion in 2024 alone, and in early 2025 they pulled off the largest crypto theft in history, a $1.5 billion hack of Bybit. But why are these operatives so effective? Because North Korean hackers operate with the virtual impunity. They face no legal consequences, no international extradition, and have nothing to lose. That gives them free rein to launch attacks, often undetected, often unpunished, and continuing uninterrupted. That's it for the video, guys. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.